6 out of 10 startup leaders are working on the wrong metrics. What this means is that you're wasting runway, you're wasting people's resources, and you're going to make it a lot harder to find product market fit. In this video, I want to present to you a better way of finding out your North Star metric, and it will be a metric that actually drives business value and customer value so that you can deliver not only for investors, but also for customers, which means that they're more likely to retain and pay in the long term, making sure that you create a sustainable business rather than one that is run on vanity metrics. So there was some research done and it found that 6 of 10 marketing leaders were working on the wrong metrics. And I've expanded this to startup leaders because what I've seen is more than half of people that I speak to are focusing on the wrong metrics. My name is Rosie Hoggmascall. I'm a product growth consultant and author of growthdives.com. In this CXL feed, we're going to go through metrics. So why are people measuring the wrong metrics? Well, there's a few reasons that this happens and they're super common. The first one is because of vanity metrics. So 40% of people are measuring the wrong metrics because they're focusing on vanity metrics. That can be things like impressions across channels, something like reach, something like just website visitors. Is a metric that you can show a large volume, but it's not a metric that you can actually tie to customer value very strongly. So it's something that you report on externally, but if you keep driving that, you're not necessarily driving value for customers, which also means that you're not necessarily driving revenue with that metric, which also means that you're not going to create a business that can drive enough money to make it sustainable. So vanity metrics are super common. Another reason people are focusing on the wrong metrics is just because they can't measure it. They can't measure what matters. That could be a tracking problem, it could be an expertise problem, but it's super common to not be able to track things. And that's why that is one of the key reasons that people aren't able to see the real numbers and see how people are flowing through their funnel. What this means is people end up prioritizing metrics that are easier to collect, easier to measure, and easier to see, versus metrics that actually show real impact. Some of them are hard, but just ignoring them doesn't mean it's going to solve it. So with all the options of metrics, it can be really hard to find where to focus. So in this video, we're going to go through a quick exercise to help you decide where to focus. Let's do one together. And this is what I call growth trees, also called growth model, growth system thinking. There's lots of ways that you can describe this, but essentially it's a qualitative, theoretical way of looking at how your customers flow through the funnel. And that will help you decide what metric should you pick that drives business value and customer value. So we're going to do one together and we're going to start with a block and draw a B2C subscription example. So let's say it's a mobile app. A key point would obviously be to subscribe to subscription or pay for subscription. And you can look up funnel and down funnel. So it's good to start with something that you know and then work backwards. So before they pay from the subscription, they might start a trial. Before that, they need to install app. And before installing, they need to view App Store page. So you want to start really simple, like a very simple high-level funnel. The goal is not to be accurate. It's not to be super specific. It's meant to be a higher level look so you can think more strategically instead of more tactically. You can go in over time and the idea is to build on this. So you might color code things. What have you validated? What do you need to improve? But this is just about a simple funnel. So traffic to App Store page. View App Store page, install app, start trial, pay for subscription. And then we'll have renew. And then you can draw the relationship between these things. So if you renew, you'll pay again. And as well with this, you've got the price of the subscription. And you've got the frequency of payment. So that could be monthly, annual, what tiers do you have? And all of that you can time together to get your annual recurring revenue, depending on the time period. So you might have a slightly different funnel, but this is a super simple one. This could also be D2C without the App Store, just a landing page instead. Here's one I made earlier, which is a bit cleaner. So in this B2C example, this is, instead of an app, this is a D2C. So you visit a landing page, you sign up, you start a trial, or you buy the thing. So you're a newly converted user. And you can also look at this in terms of new, existing, churned. And that will give you a total subscribers, so total payers, times by frequency, times by price is your recurring revenue. So within these two examples, it's really important to say business value is money. We need money to be able to continue the runway, extend out the runway, create a profitable business. So that's the business value. We need people to pay. The user value is we want to get value from this in a way that makes us stick around. So returning users who are actively doing something in a set time period. So if you're a high frequency product, that could be daily. If you're a low frequency product, that could be monthly, even quarterly. But you want active user and then a time period. So within this B2C app example, if we had revenue as a North Star metric, that's a big red flag. When you optimize for revenue, you often start to forget the customer. You forget what they need. Instead, you're optimizing for tactics, revenue tactics, pricing tactics. And over time, you can start to erode the value that people get. You want to be optimizing for something that is the user value and the business value. So for here, we might have active users as someone who's doing the thing in your product. So if you're a fitness product, people working out. If you're a nutrition product, people who are inputting their nutrition data. If you're a women's health product, it could be people who are putting in their period data. If you are, let's say, a content consumption business, could be people listening to audiobooks, people watching videos. So you want the action. What is the value that people get? Keep it simple. And then you want the time period. Do we expect people to be doing this daily, weekly, monthly? And then so you've got, let's say it's weekly active users, active being listening to audiobooks. That is a good customer metric because people are having value there, but it might not necessarily have the business value aspect, might not have the revenue aspect. So the best North Star metrics are ones that are customer value and business value. And what that often means is weekly active paying subscribers. That could be daily paying learners. For example, that could be Duolingos. So you can see how you have the paying subscriber aspect as business value, and you have the weekly, daily, monthly usage aspect as the business value. So what you want to do is you want to map out this metrics tree over time, and you want to say, okay, this is what we understand for the business. You might highlight it, put in, okay, we know that we get like 10K traffic per month. We know that our install rate is 32%, and you can start to highlight these. You can start to say, okay, actually, this is a really good number, or actually people are getting blocked later in the funnel at this renewal. So you want to go through, you want to layer on your qualitative metrics and your quantitative metrics. What do we know about each of these steps? Where do people get blocked? So get your North Star, map out your funnel, build on it over time so that you can start to see the bottlenecks. But essentially, you want to make sure you don't make two big errors. One is revenue as a North Star, and two is a North Star with no business value at all. So that's the main way to get your North Star metric down. So what about attribution? This is super, super difficult. How do you know where these users come from? How can you optimize to a better acquisition and people who are going to retain and pay? No attribution is perfect, so we need to triangulate it. Triangle 3 edges to a triangle. That means 3 different data sources. There's no business in the world that has accurate and beautiful 100% great attribution. It's just something we have to live with, and we have to work around it. So what I recommend is having 3 different things. You have the quantitative, which is you try and track it, track where users come from. That could be a mobile measurement partner with mobile apps. That could be getting your sources in Google Analytics as accurate as you can. There's also surveys. How did you hear about the surveys? They could be quickly post-purchase. It could be a CRM campaign that's sent a week after they've come in. There's lots of different places you can put this. Some people even have it in onboarding. And the last one is interviews. People might say, or we might track that people are from a place, but people generally need 5 touch points at least before they make a purchase decision. So that means talking to people and thinking about, okay, what do we know about them? What's the first place, the second place, the third place they heard about us? What's their whole journey? Once you get there, you're much more likely to know where your good customers come from, what channels you need to focus on, and what personas you need to focus on to drive more people that are going to pay and retain. So North Star metrics, try and track it, try and do a customer value, try and do business value, and triangulate your attribution. Those are the 4 key learnings from the lesson. Now I want you to go away, get a whiteboard out, map out your funnel, and let me know how you get on. Because working out your metrics, making an effort to track them, knowing what you don't know is a really important step to be able to move towards product market fit and to be able to grow the business in the long term. So have a go, let me know how you get on. See you next time.